Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Carla Plasencia, and on behalf of the student world, I welcome you to this live session with Burgundy School of Business. I'm going to explain with you super fast how this platform works. Okay, so we have the chat that is on your right side. There, you can let us know which city are you watching us from or things like that. But if you have any questions during the presentation, you can go to the second window that is questions. And there I will be tracking all your questions throughout the session, and we will have a Q&A session at the very end. We will also be having some polls that you will find on the third window of your chat tab. So there, I will send them in a few minutes. So you can go there and just click on your answer and submit your vote. It's something super easy. And yeah, that's basically it for the platform. Now, I would like to introduce you to our presenters today. They are representatives from BSB. So thank you guys for showing up, and let's begin with the presentation.
Thanks a lot, Carla. Thanks for arranging the presentation for us. And myself, Prakash Saklani, as you can tell, I'm an Indian and I live in France. I work for Burgundy School of Business. And my main job at BSP, how we call it is, in charge of managing the Indian market, along with other parts of for the team, of course. And I have with me Celsia. Celsia is, first of all, she has recently joined our team, and her main job at BSB in our team is to help you guys throughout your application until the part where you reach BSB, where you reach when you reach France. So ideally, you will be in touch with either most of the time with Celsia or me during your journey with BSB and your also throughout your studies. Of course, we have a very dynamic team and we try and engage with our students all the time. Doesn't matter if they're applicants or they're already studying. And sometimes we also, it happens that we end up being friends and we are in touch with them for a longer period of time. We'll be going through the presentation of our school, and like Carla said, if you guys have any questions, any doubts, you're free to ask. And along with me and Celcia, will try to answer as much as possible. And if for some reason, if we are not able to give any answers right away, we'll definitely write back to you with the exact answers to your questions. All right. Okay, so let's start with it. First of all, I would like to introduce you to our school, Burgundy School of Business. We call it in short as BSB. That's our logo as well. Burgundy, because our school was established in 1899 in the region of, in a Burgundy region of France. The region itself is called Burgundy. That's the color there, of course, for Burgundy. And as I think a lot of you might know, maybe not as well, Burgundy is one of the best regions for wine in the world, and that is one of the biggest, point of being proud for us as a school in that region. So, Burgundy School of Business has been there in existence since 1899 in France, in the region of Dijon. All right. So, why do students choose France? In general, of course, France is like the seventh biggest economy in the world. So, it's a big market for students as well as as well as people looking for jobs. We have around 30 companies which are in top 500, Fortune rankings in the world. And in general, the French business schools are very prestigious. We are very well recognized all around the world. Now, talking a bit about our region. So, our historical campus, our main campus of BSB is located in Dijon, and that's where we started in 1899. Sorry. We also have a campus in Lyon, which is actually the second biggest city in France after Paris, and it is a big metropolitan, of course. So our historical campus is based in Dijon, and then we decided to open a new campus in Lyon, where, as I'll go through the presentation, you'll understand what do we offer in Lyon and what do we offer in Dijon separately. All right. So studying in Dijon. So, like I said, Dijon or the region itself is called Burgundy. It is famous all over the world for its wine, its vineyards, as well as if some of you might be aware that Dijon is also home to mustard. So it's a funny story. We actually do not manufacture mustard in Dijon anymore, but the recipe of that mustard sauce, which went famous all around the world, is comes from Dijon. That's why we call it moutarde de Dijon or mustard of Dijon all around the world. A bit more about the city, actually. So the city itself is around 90 minutes away from Paris by train. So it's not very far from the hub of France. To be honest, the main city of France. It's barely 90 minutes from the train. The city itself is walkable, and when I say walkable, I mean to say from north of Dijon to the south of Dijon, you can literally walk around the city, and you can even hire bicycles, travel on bicycles. There are public transports which are very, very accessible. And for students, of course, you get a lot of discounts on such transportations as well. So all in all, Dijon, anyone, if you speak to anyone who lives or studies in Dijon, they'll definitely say that you'll probably not need any public transport. You'll be walking around Dijon all the time, and it's uh, one of the reasons for that is, of course, the connectivity, the how the city itself is not that huge, and the of course the roads and the architecture and everything is very beautiful. So it makes you even walk around the city even more. Dijon itself and the vineyards around Dijon actually are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We also have a city called Beaune nearby, which is around 30 minutes from here, and which is again a UNESCO World Heritage Site in itself. The city, like I said, it's quite charming, it's quite old, quite walkable, and the architecture is very beautiful all around the city of Dijon. Now, coming back to the other campus which we have in Lyon. So this other campus has been created keeping in mind the digital industry, how it is growing, and how the demand for the digital education, be it AI, digital intelligence, anything to do with the world of digital. Uh, Keeping that in mind, of course, we opened a new campus in Lyon because Lyon is actually uh, kind of a IT or a digital hub for France. After Paris, of course, Lyon is the second largest city. So we have our two main programs over there, which are related to digital and artificial intelligence. We will go through this program, of course, uh, for down the slide. Lyon itself is actually situated in a region called Honal. That region is nearby Alps, basically. So if you might have heard about Mont Blanc and all that, so those mountain ranges are not really far from the city of Lyon. It's I think around an hour long from here by car. So you have a lot of beautiful areas to visit around Lyon in general, and the connectivity itself is quite good. So you have trains, you have buses, and the city itself is very happening, very popular, very student friendly, of course. I guess I explained everything about the Dijon in the last slide only. Sorry, about the Lyon in the last slide. But let me brief a bit more on the city itself. Lyon, like any other major city in France, it's very well equipped with public transport. It's very student friendly. You have around 21,000 plus international students in Lyon, which is a big plus when it comes to going to a European country where the language is not natively English. It becomes a bit of a trouble for a day to day, having your going through your day to day life in a city or in a country where English is not a main language. So, of course, a bigger city like Lyon helps in that case, where you have a lot of international students. And of course, as you all know, the common language around the world is English, and it becomes very easy to communicate, to make friends, to enjoy your studies during the whole program period, whenever until the time you're there. All right. So a bit more about our school, BSP. We are a double accredited school, of course, AACSB as well as EQUIS accredited. We are amongst the top 1% of business schools in the world. By Financial Times ranking, our Masters in Management, the main master's program, is in the top hundreds. Of course, it is currently ranked 63 in the world and 13th number in France. And if you talk about how how diverse our campus or how diverse our students are there in BSB, we have around 70 students from around 70 countries in BSB, which of course includes India, China, and many of the bigger markets, to be honest. But you have people from other countries as well. US, a lot of Latin Americans are there. We have people from Europe. We have people from different parts of Africa, Southeast Asia. So it's a very diverse campus in general. Both our campuses, ideally, Lyon and Dijon. All right. A fun fact to which I think you might be interested in is, first of all, I think I'll have to explain you what the concept of Grande École is. If you guys don't already know, BSB is part of CGE, and the full form of which is Conférence des Grandes Écoles. So we are a part of the CGE group in France. And the concept of Grande École, for people who don't know itself, is these are the these are the business schools in France which are highly recognized, and they deliver very specialized degrees and very business centric degrees to their students. And of course, they are internationally recognized. So in general, people coming to France, the students coming to France, to be specific, they only around 2% of them actually study in Grande École, which is actually a benefit for you guys, because Grande École degrees is recognized all around the world. So a lot of times people subscribe to public universities and all, which are very, very generic in their studies. So they don't deliver your business programs, your industry specific programs. That's where Grande École in France comes into picture. They deliver very specific programs, helping you, advance in your career, or helping you achieve a bigger goal in terms of career. Something which I think a lot of people in India might find interesting. I understand this, that when we actually take the step of higher education, first thing which is in our mind is how will be the job scope when I start my master's, of course, especially when you're going abroad. So what BSB has done is we are tied up with a platform, a job search platform, and with the help of that job search platform, what we do is we offer you, of course, you can subscribe to it once you join BSB, and even after completing your studies, you can use the platform. You can search for jobs, you can search for internships, you can even look for events and webinars happening, which might help you, further in your career. Along with this, we also have 7 dedicated coaches from BSB in BSB. And what you can do with that, and that is you can actually schedule calls, meetings with them to help you maybe, improve your CV, maybe improve your communication skills, maybe help him understand what you should be applying for, how you should be applying for, and all those things. And these coaches are available free of cost. With the help of this platform, you can, of course, schedule a meeting with them whenever available, and you can speak to them as many times as you want. So there is no restriction. We are obviously right over there as 3,000 hours. You can speak to them for 3,000 hours, but frankly speaking, you can talk to them as much as you want. You can take meetings with them as much as you want. One very interesting thing about this platform is, of course, we have a dedicated career service department in BSP. What they do is they reach out to corporates, they reach out to companies, and they tie up with them. And if those companies have a job, they post on this platform. And if the company sees that you are a BSP student, your application will be given priority over others. So that's a very good fact, and that's a very good part of this platform overall, to help you manage your applications, your internships, and all that. Basically, the department I was talking to you about is officially called Career Booster, or Corporate Relations. We have 2 different names for it. Career Booster is a general term we call it, where you can connect with such companies. You can even connect with our alumni. Our department helps you do that, of course. If you look at our general alumni over the past few years, we have alumni in different big conglomerates all around the world, including Renault, Chanel, Deloitte, Society General, IBM, and many more. So, of course, you have the chance to connect with all these alumni, try and understand what they are doing, maybe, help reach out to someone to help you perhaps apply for a job, perhaps understand, how the market is working and all those things. And that dedicated department is always available for students. Either you write them an email, or of course, you can even speak to those coaches about this specific uh, anything specific to your scenario. Right. So, starting with our first program, we have a bachelor's in management program, which is a 3 years bachelor's degree. It has been recently given as it has recently been given a title of grade de licence. Basically, what it means is it's a government recognized program. So probably in the coming years, what you will be able to do is you'll be able to apply a stay back visa, which is quite a big question with a lot of Indians, I know. So this is one of the programs we have. Uh, for bachelor's, we ideally have only one program, bachelor's in management, of course. It is a third-year program. Each year, tuition fees is 8,200, or 8,200, sorry. And it is completely taught in English or French. So you can either study the program in English or French. It's up to you. And one thing very, very specific about BSB is we do not believe in having big classrooms. We really appreciate having face-to-face classes. So what we try to do is we try to have a classroom of 35 to 40 students maximum per subject. And if the number goes any further, we try to distribute the classes. Of course, for us, you're not just a number. Most of the time, all the professors would know you by name. They will generally have interactions with you throughout the class, even after the class. They're quite friendly as well. Our professors are quite friendly. And I think they have, as we have already mentioned in this slide, that around 25% of our students are international, of course. A lot of our professors are international. They are not French. What I mean by international is basically they're working here they joined BSB from some other country. So ideally, they're not French nationals. So that also helps in the sense that they bring in that international experience with them. When they are teaching you, they will have that industry experience from all around the world. So that also helps you. Okay, did I explain about the third year? Okay, I think I forgot to explain about the third year. We also give you the option to study bachelor's third year directly. If you want to transfer, if you have done 2 years of bachelor in some other country or in some other college, you can even join our third year of bachelor's directly. And for the third year of bachelor itself, the tuition fees would be 9,200. Now, the bachelor program, of course, the first 2 years are very generic. You study generic management modules, and then towards the end of the second year, you will have to choose a specialization, and according to your specialization, of course, you will have to be in a specific campus. Like I told you in the beginning, our Leo campus is dedicated to digital and artificial intelligence industry. So if you choose, for example, digital management, you will have to shift to Leo to complete that module itself. You can even study abroad in your third year. We have partnership with I think more than 100 institutes all around the world. So according to your specialization, you can choose whichever institute is available wherever you can apply. We have a dedicated team which will help you do this. So you don't have to worry about how to figuring out how to do all these things, even visa and all that. They help you through the whole process basically. And of course, most of the time it's all included in your program, so in your program fees. So you don't really have to pay extra to do your third year of bachelor's in some other country or in some other educational institute. Of course, the travel cost and all that is up to you, but the education fees is taken care of. Then our second main program is Master in Management, Grande École. This is one of the most prestigious degree in France. It's a 2 years degree, and if you guys have done some research on studying management programs in France, this program you might have heard about this program. Ideally, we offer this program in English as well as in French, so it's up to you. There are few modules which are either only in French or only in English. Accordingly, you will have to be, you will have to go through those modules. So of course, these are selective modules. This program is very, very highly customizable, actually. So when you'll go through the curriculum of this program, you'll understand that towards your second year, you'll have a lot of options to choose from, and you will be able to decide which specialization you do. It's in terms of classroom size, in terms of mode of class delivery. Again, we at BSB, we believe in face-to-face classes. So we don't ideally have any program 100% online. Everything is face-to-face. There are just few modules sometimes which are online, and only for those you're allowed to have online classes. We have a maximum of again 35 to 40 students per classroom for this program as well. And like I was explaining you for bachelors, even for masters, we have around, so it says 39% of our faculty is international. So they're coming from different parts of the world. You also get an option to have a 14-month internship overall. Of course, it's not all in one go, it's in parts. So each semester you might have an optional internship, which you can choose to do either in France or in your own country or in any country where you find an internship. And again, like I was saying, we have that job teaser platform. You can find the internship on that platform, and you can take help from our corporate relations office or our career booster office to try and figure out how to find an internship and where can you apply, how should you apply for it. One thing very interesting I would like to mention over here is, so this is already a Ghat the Master program. That means it's RNCP certified, and that in general terms mean you can apply for a stay back visa with this program. So, and in case of Indians actually, so this is very, very rare. For most of the countries, it's only 1 year of stay back visa. And in case of Indians, actually, you can apply for a 2 year stay back visa with this program. So that's a very unique thing French government offers only to Indian students. So I think a lot of Indian students take a good use it very well. Actually, what they do is they do this program and then they stay back for 2 years, and ideally end up settling in France. So that's something you can always keep in mind. This program is ideally 11,500 per year, and of course it's a 2 years program. So like I was explaining you before, in the second year you have options between a lot of modules. You have different programs to select. You can go for a dual degree, you can go for a specialized master's program, or you can even study abroad with this program, like with our bachelor's. So you'll have a lot of options, and definitely you can choose whichever one you prefer. And according to your choice, your campus location will differ. So any AI or digital related program will be in Lyon, and rest of the programs are delivered in Dijon. Now, then after the masters, of course, we have our MSc programs, specialized masters and masters of science program. In total, we have 9 MSc programs and 2 MS programs. These MS programs are ideally completely taught in French, and our masters MSc programs, they are completely taught in English. So that is ideally the biggest difference between these programs. Other than that, these are both masters. One is master specialization and one is masters in science. So if you look carefully, you will see that that these names have appeared on master in management program as well. So what happens ideally is, after you're done with the first year of your masters in management, you are able to choose any of these 9 or any of these 11 MSc or MS programs. So what ends up happening is you have a master in management degree, plus you can have a master's of science degree if you choose any of these programs. They're all delivered. So first top 9 programs are delivered in English, and the rest MS programs are completely delivered in English, in French. Sorry. Most of our MSc programs are 14,000 euros. They are a 1-year program, so it's just 14,000 euros, everything included in it. Some of these programs also have a few field trips. For example, luxury management, where you get to travel to different luxury manufacturing units. For example, some luxury car manufacturer or some luxury watches manufacturer. So everything would be ideally included in your tuition fees. Like I was explaining you, if you go for a master's in management degree, and in the second year, if you choose any of the masters of science, you have the option of getting, of course, the 2 degrees. So once you complete by the end of 2 years, you will have a master in management recognized degree as well as an MSc degree in a specialized subject. Okay, now comes a bit more interesting part. Like I was explaining you in the very beginning, Burgundy and Dijon, this region is famous for wine. If I have to give you a very blunt figure, amongst top 50 most expensive wines in the world, around 30 wines are produced in Burgundy region, in our region. So of course, this region has a very big heritage and it takes pride in itself for that reason only. And that's why these programs are one of our top programs. Actually, we are world pioneers in wine related program. So ideally, we have a dedicated school for wine programs, and we call it School of Wine and Spirits Business. Of course, we say spirits as well because we don't just teach the wine industry during those programs. We also teach you spirits and beverage industry, which includes your alcohol as well as beer and all those industries. So everything you study about the business, the marketing, all the aspect of business of these industries, of course. So, like I was saying, it's a big heritage. The wine industry is a big heritage for the region, where people have been cultivating wine in this region for almost around 2,000 years. So it's a very, very beautiful region and a very, very advanced, very well internationally connected region. If you talk about Burgundy wine or Dijon wine, ideally it's called Burgundy wine. So if you talk about Burgundy wine, we export around, I believe, 70 to 80% of our wines. When I say export, export internationally, not exporting to any other part of France, but most of the wines produced in the region is exported internationally. So so the reason why I'm mentioning this point is there's a lot of international business that happens in the region. And of course, that's where a business school like ours comes into picture. We connect you through this industry. We connect you to the industry professionals, the companies and all that, and give you the option to grow professionally in the industry. So all the wine programs are delivered in Dijon. If you choose any of the wine specializations, you will be studying in Dijon campus. So our top program in the wine sector itself is MBA Wine and Spirits Business. Something you might need to know is we don't do any other MBA programs. Our only MBA program is MBA Wine and Spirits Business, which is a 1-year program. It's a very, very intense program. And if I have to put it in few words, the people who join these programs range from 30 years old to 40, 45, 50 years old. So we have industry professionals, we have vineyard owners, we have distribution channel owners in the industry trying to study this program and advance in their business or in their career. We do have a lot of Indian students, applying for our second program, which is MSc Wine Management program. And it's again a 1-year program. It's an MSc program. You can club it with Master in Management. And in second year, you can study this program. Give me 1 second, sorry. Sorry, guys. So Both these programs are actually delivered in English, 100% taught in English. And MBA Wine and Spirits Business, as well as MSc Wine Management program, their fees is higher because they include all the trips, all the field trips, all the events which you will be visiting during this time, during the 1 year of your studies. And these are some of the top events which you will be going to. Some of the top vineyards, some of the top wine regions. You'll be going to east of France, you'll be going to Germany, you'll have an option to go to US. Sometimes you also go to Greece, and all around the world, the best wines, vineyards, you might get an option to visit them during the field trip. Sorry for pausing in between, guys. I woke up with a sore throat, and it's quite hard to continue for a longer period of time. All right. So the third program we have under School of Wine and Spirits Business is called MS Civic. That's how we call it in short. If you're able to pronounce it in French properly, it's called Commerce International des Vins et des Spiritueux. So it is 80% taught in French, 20% in English, because there are some modules where you have to deal with the international business or international industry. So of course, some of those modules will have to be taught in English, but otherwise it's completely taught in French. And the cost for this program is 14,500. It's again 1 year program. Then the fourth program, which has recently been added to our School of Wine and Spirits Business, is Sustainable Wine Tourism and Gastronomy. So basically what it does is it takes that industry and helps you advance in the business aspect of sustainable wine tourism industry. Then we have the fifth option is wine tourism specialization. As it clearly says, this is a specialization you can do during your third year of bachelor's program. It's the fees is all included in bachelor's program for this, so you don't have to pay anything extra if you're studying wine tourism specialization towards the third year. I see a few questions popping up. We'll definitely answer your questions, and please keep them coming. If you guys have any specific questions, please do write it there. There's no good or bad question. There's always something we can help you guys with. So don't hesitate, please. You can ask all the questions you want. All right. So like I was telling you in between the presentation, that this region is very beautiful and it's surrounded by vineyards, and one of the oldest vineyards in the world, to be honest. It's quite interesting for the wine enthusiast, wine industry, and especially studying wine in this region gives you an added advantage because you get that exposure of the industry itself. And a bit about our historical campus, which is Dijon. So you have a lot of facilities over here. You have a learning center, you have trading room. So for the people studying corporate finance, we have a Bloomberg trading room. So you actually do your thesis, professional thesis, or you do your practice on the Bloomberg system during your program. So we also have that. We have gym, we have a music studio, we have an entrepreneurial garden. This is a very good concept, actually. So we have a building which the college acquired, I think, few years ago, and it's dedicated to all the entrepreneurial ideas, all your incubators and all those things. So anything to do with startups and all those, so that building is dedicated to it. People come there, discuss, have meet hopefully potential investors and all that. So you can grow your business ideas in this building. It's a very interesting building. It's nearby college, like 1 minute or 2 minutes walking, ideally. Our campus is quite green. It's very well very well built, as much as you can build in a city center. So we also have a self-catering kitchen. We don't have a canteen. We don't sell food in the campus due to health. Basically, due to health issues and all that, we had to stop selling food on campus, but you do have a canteen where students, or most of the time what they do is they bring their own food. You have around 10, 15, I think, microwave ovens where you can heat up your food. Perhaps, Kala, you can share a quick video about our campus tour. They can have a quick look, and then I can continue with the presentation.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm in the first year of my master's degree at BSB. Why don't I show you around the campus? 2 minutes on the clock, let's go. It's been completely rethought and built around the student experience. Welcome to the Lounge, our social hotspot that's always buzzing during breaks and for all our events, like welcome parties and student campaigns. If you need to focus, the Learning Centre is the place to be. It's the nicest place in the school, bright and calm. It's perfect for studying, learning languages in the Kaizen room, or working on group projects. Here, you will also meet with your personal coach to work on your career project, your resume, and your internship. If you feel the need to disconnect, head to the Zen room and zone out for a while. Now come on, let's go up a level. Here is the House of Finance, equipped with Bloomberg technology. And one of our classrooms. We have classes in small groups to allow more interaction with the teacher. Our lecture halls, well, they're reserved for conferences with some of the very best French and international speakers. What about a short break in our green park? It's the perfect place to have lunch in the sun, relax with friends, and study while tanning. It's the good life in Dijon. Off we go again. I'm taking you to the legendary School of Wine and Spirits business, where Burgundy's vineyards reveal their secrets for success. And this is The Hub, a place to meet and talk with BSB staff who will guide and help you with all your administrative needs. Are you a sports fan? Do you need to let off steam between classes? Then you'll love our fully equipped gym, open 7 days a week. And for those of you with an artistic spirit, we even have a dance room and music studio. Welcome to our student club headquarters, where BSB's 25 student clubs prepare events throughout the year to enrich your student life. This is our kitchen. Just like home, have lunch and chill out with friends. To end our tour, join me in the Entrepreneurial Garden, where we plant genius ideas and grow company spirit. And voila, you've seen it all. So if you're looking for a great place to work in the heart of a vibrant and lively city, a welcoming campus where you can have a unique student experience, then Dijon, here in France, is the place to be. Come and join us soon. It's even better in real life.
Thanks, Kala. We can quickly switch back to the... Yes, hi. Thanks a lot, Kala. So that was a quick campus tour. So I think something I would like to mention about the campus tour or the video or itself is you get what you see. So it's exactly like this. All the facilities are very beautiful. The entrepreneurial garden is there. The green space is very good, and we are actually right next to the city center. So you'll see people talk about this a lot over a period of time when you speak to even our students or our professors or our administrative staff, even me, will definitely all the time mention that it's a walking city. It's a walking city. You will definitely see, if you're here, you'll see how walking it is. We are right next to the city center. That's actually one of the reasons we can't grow in actual size of the building, because we have a very historical space over there, and it sometimes it's a good thing to have, of course, and then it limits you in a certain aspects, of course. All right, this is all about our campus, and then our Lyon campus is recently built actually, and like I was saying, it's dedicated to the digital as well as artificial intelligence industry. Something which you I think which you might need, which might be good for you to know, is we are a business school. So even though we look into our artistics and creative industry, all our programming programs approach them through a business perspective. So you learn the managerial, the business aspect of all these industries, rather than actually, for example, like you have a wine program. We don't actually, go through the viticulture classes, but you actually understand the business, the core of the business, how how the HR is done in the industry, how the accounting is done in the industry, how the purchasing is done in the industry. So basically, you learn the business aspect of each of these industries. So it's always good to know that while applying for programs in a business school in France. All right. Let me quickly run through our admission process. So over the period of time, generally French. So you learn if once you arrive in France, you will understand how the bureaucracy works in France. It's a lot of paperwork and all that, but that is where me and my team comes in. We try and simplify this whole admission process for you. So over the period of time, what we have done is we have shortened it into 4 different steps. So of course, you need to fill in information on all these steps. The first step comes in where you need to uh, basically, you need to put in your information, your documents, and everything, and complete your application. Then what happens is your your application is tested by the admission, checked by the admission officer. If everything is good, according to the program you have selected, you will be sent an interview link. Usually, what happens is it's not a face-to-face interview. It's a recording which you have to do for certain questions which have been asked to you. So you record yourself answering those questions, and you even get time to practice. So it's not like suddenly you get the link and you have to record and within an hour or nothing. So it's nothing like that. You definitely get time to practice and be a bit more confident recording yourself. Some programs have a direct interview with the program directors, especially for wine programs, because these are very, very, specialized programs, and they require very high level of, skills and motivation and understanding of the industry. Sometimes you have that face-to-face interview. So once the interview is done, you're given your if of course, if your interview and everything went fine, you are given a pre-admission letter along with the requirement of the deposit payment. Once the deposit payment is done, that's when you get your admission letter, which you ideally go with the admission letter to Campus France and start your application with Campus France. After that, you go through your visa process, and all this throughout this process, ideally what will happen is Celsia will be running you through all this process. She'll be helping you throughout this part of the application. All right, a quick review about our team. So when I say our team, what I mean is a team which is actually helping you guys throughout the application as well as the admission process with BSP. So we, of course, have our director, Michelangelo Balico. He's an Italian. And our whole team is quite diverse, ideally. So we have our director, Michelangelo Balico. Then we have Isabel Gajak. She handles students' queries like me and Celsia. And other than that, she helps us with the administrative process, all the French administration process for the team itself. Then we have Perishte. She is from Central Asia, so she helps Central Asian students go through the process. Then our new member, Celsia, which will be helping all you guys throughout your applications. Of course, I'll be time to time. You might see me in the conversation, but ideally, Celsia will be taking over from now on if any one of you decide to start an application or have any questions. And then we have 2 of our other area managers, which is Jad and Yolan. Jad is basically handling our Chinese students, helping our Chinese students. Then we have Yolan, which helps most of our African students from the continent. And that is pretty much it. Guys, please ask all the questions you have. We have some polls in the as well. I would recommend you to answer those polls if you can. And then I would be discussing those polls during our question and answer session, ideally. And there's no wrong or right answer. It's just a way of me to start a conversation about a specific topic, of course, so that I can, explain in brief about that topic and obviously answer your questions. Meanwhile, what I would recommend, I think, Carla, if you can play one of the arts and cultural management video, it would be great. I think it's good to for the students to understand 1 or 2 programs which we offer from the program directors itself.
Sure, I will do that in just a minute. So the management one, right?
Yes, arts and cultural management.
Perfect.
Well, to France it's easy because it's one of the most prominent countries in Europe and I think in the world in terms of arts and cultural management. They have a very long tradition of arts and cultural management, but also they have a lot of cultural assets, I will call them. So both in terms of cultural heritage, in terms of creative industries. As you know, France is one of the leading countries in terms of numbers of UNESCO World Heritage Sites and also in terms of policies to develop culture and creativity. BSB has really decided to put a lot of efforts on arts and cultural management. Here everything is so agile and everything is so, professional also in terms of connections. So we have collaboration with different professionals, we can invite them and they can discuss with our students, we organize visits. It's all really, I think, I will define it agile. We don't have so many formalities, we are small, so it's more manageable. And also I really like to be, with my students. This approach that is so close to the student is really a big asset for students and for us, for professors. Okay, so probably it's not so well known, but actually Dijon is a cultural hub. So we have everything from the cultural point of view. We have fine arts, so we have a very big museum that is the Museum of Fine Arts. It is actually very experimental. They are experimenting with contemporary art because here in Dijon we also have a lot of contemporary art. So for example, we have the Consortium. So the Consortium is a cultural center, I will say, because it's officially a museum, but they are also experimenting with music, with cinema. They worked for the Biennale, for example. So it's one of the leading, really, organization and institution in visual arts, in contemporary visual arts. But if you like opera, we have also opera. If you like contemporary music, we have experimental contemporary music, but we have also very commercial music. We have the Zenith in Dijon, which is an event center. So it's a very good mixture between ancient, modern and contemporary. Yeah.
Hi everyone. So I tried to make it short. I think the video was quite long in itself, but basically the idea for me to show you that video is this was one of our program directors. She's the one who manages arts and cultural program, and uh, it's the campus, that the feeling, the environment in the campus is very open. So ideally what happens is almost all professors, almost all directors know all the students they are teaching or they are in their program. Even the dean itself of our college knows most of the students studying in the college. If he doesn't know that by name, but he definitely knows by face, and he generally approaches everyone. He's walking around the campus. You can, with any problems, you can approach any of the staff members, any of the administrative department officers. You can directly approach them. So we have a really the concept the pedagogy in BSB ideally is very human to human touch. We don't believe in that. We don't believe the student is just a number, and that's why we even try to reduce the number of students in classrooms and just have 35 to 40 students, so that we can have that personal touch and we can deliver the education which we ideally think is the best for you. I see a lot of students who have actually asked the questions in the chat itself, Carla. So perhaps we'll have to read the chat to answer those questions.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. So the first question that I see here is, I have completed BSc in physics. Am I eligible for Master in Management?
Well, eligibility wise, yes. But I think over here would be the question that would you like, if you have if you're selecting a specific program, why do you want to go for that program? Eligibility wise, yes, you are eligible. Definitely, you have done a bachelor's degree. So any bachelor's degree, whether it's a 3-year or a 4-year degree, you are eligible for a master's in management program.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I also see here if you offer any undergraduate programs.
Yes, I think the question was asked before I started talking about our Bachelor in Management program. So, like I was saying, we have a single bachelor's program. So we don't believe in creating 50 programs and then, not delivering them properly. Instead, what we choose is have a very specific set of programs and deliver them in the best way possible. Interesting fact about our bachelor's program is actually this is one of the first bachelor's program in English in France. So in France, generally, a lot of programs are taught in French, but we are one of the first colleges to start a bachelor's program in English, taught in English.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Also, here they are asking if you have any short course programs.
Currently, we don't have any short course programs, to be honest, but we are ideally looking towards some short course programs. Hopefully, in the coming years, we will offer some.
Perfect. Thank you very much. What is the eligibility for your courses?
All right. So it depends on program to program, of course. And for a bachelor's program, you need to have a high school or a school degree, depending on your school degree. Ideally, depending on countries. So, for example, in India, usually schooling is 12 years. We even have students coming from 11 years schooling, 10 years schooling, 14 years schooling. So you should have your schooling completed because you will have to provide your schooling certificate. So that's the eligibility for bachelor's. For any master's except MBA, and I'll explain what is the difference in MBA. For any other master's, you are eligible to apply with a bachelor's degree. And some program, of course, they require, all of them, of course, require a motivation letter. And you have to be motivated enough to join a specific program. Master's in management is generic. So, I mean, that's one of the most generic programs, of course, in first year. So that motivation, in that case, I think it's easier for you to get in. But when it comes to a very specific master's, a specific MSc program, then you really have to be motivated to be in that industry, ideally. And I was saying MBA as an exception. Reason why initially when I was telling you about MBA in wine and spirits business, our MBA is actually one of the top MBAs in the world in this sector. And what we try to do is we try to engage with industry, the people who already have some experience, ideally. It may not be in wine industry, but they must have some experience. So what we ideally say is around 3 years of minimum experience. And then on top of that, we judge them on the basis of their interest in wine industry. Because if they don't have an interest in the industry, they will not succeed in the wine and spirits, industry, ideally.
Yes, of course, that totally makes sense. Someone here is also asking, does the fees also include accommodation, or that is just the tuition fee?
Okay, good thing you asked. So there is no on-campus accommodation. I think I forgot to mention this, that we do have a tie-up with a platform called StudApart. So what ideally it does is it has all the registered pre-verified house owners as well as as well as government hostels, dormitories. So what you can do is you can ideally register on that platform as a BSB student, and specifically for the government, the student dormitories provided by government, which is ideally one of the cheapest options available. You get a quota actually. As a BSB student, we have a quota. So if you start applying for them before April, you will be, the platform will be open only for you to apply for those dormitories. And of course, even after that you can apply, but then you will not be in that quota. The quota will be finished because we have somewhere around 3,000 students coming in, uh, including our Lyon campus, to study. So it includes French as well as international students. So they all can apply via that platform. But on campus accommodation, we do not offer. Like I was saying, it's a very historical campus, and unfortunately, we can't really just expand the building. And we also prefer it that way because it is in the city center. But accommodation in Dijon city itself is cheaper, much cheaper than Lyon or in Paris. Comparatively, it's a much safer as well as very affordable city.
Do you have an average of the living costs per month?
Yes. So ideally, I think if I have to think over the top of my head, it should be around. So accommodations are around. So if you get the dormitory, it should be around 200, 250. Starts at around that price. I think 250 or 300, and
Okay.
it can go up till, I think, if you go for an apartment or a shared accommodation with some private house owner or something, it should, I think you should be able to do very well with 450 or something. I think overall expense, of course, it depends on person to person, but keeping in mind the your day to day food and everything, I think it should be around 650 to 700 euros in a month. Then again, it's a personal choice. A lot of students go less than that. A lot of students go over that. One more interesting fact I think I forgot to mention is, in France, you as a student, you actually have this option of applying for some reimbursement of your accommodation. So depending on your situation, you can get up to, I think, 30 to 50% of money refunded to your bank account by the government. So let's say, for example, if you're paying around 500 euros a rent per month, you have the possibility of getting 100, 200 euros back in your bank account. Sometimes there is a scenario where you're not even charged. The landlord directly gets the money back. So you don't really need to pay that much. You just pay the difference. So that's a very good thing to study in France. You have a lot of student facilities in France in terms of, discounts on all the tickets and everything, as well as this, where you get, money back for your accommodation.
That is awesome. That is really great. I have never heard of that in any other place, so that's great.
Yeah, and it's not specific to French or international. Any student, doesn't matter where they're coming from, they can apply for it.
That's perfect. Okay, so we have another question here. It says, I'm studying BBA in computer applications, but I'm more interested in management courses. Can you recommend me some of them?
Yes, certainly. So when it comes to IT and technology, like I was saying, we have actually three different technology related programs. All of them are MSCs, of course. So one, we have MSc Data Science and Organizational Behavior. So it approaches that data science by with keeping in mind how organizations behave and how you can manipulate data and help the organization, you know, help your organization in that sense. So this program is related to that. The program itself is called MSc Data Science and Organizational Behavior. Then second, we have a digital MSc Artificial Intelligence and Digital Technologies. So it tackles with the of course the AI industry and the business aspect of AI industry. Thanks a lot, Carla, for
No
posting
problem.
that. So this, then we have one more program. Give me a sec. I'll give you the name of the program. All right. So we also have one more interesting program, which is not entirely computer science related, but it is still to do with the technology. It's called uh, Green Tech and Sustainable Societies. So it deals with green technology and so how it can help, grow towards sustainability. So that could be an interesting program for you. All in all, we have three programs which relate to data and science and computer science and all that.
That's
Also, I
really
think,
cool. Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. So something to note actually, this data science and organizational behavior. We have a tie-up with, I believe, even with IB, not with IBM anymore. We have a tie-up with one of the biggest names in the data industry. They are based in Germany. What happens is students go and actually do practice on like they do a case study for them, and there are very high chances of them getting hired directly by that company. I'm completely forgetting the name. I'll look for it while we go through another question or something.
That's great. And these green tech and sustainable societies, I think that that one is super interesting and innovative because it is something that we need to. It's not that we
Definitely.
want to, it's that we need to. So that is awesome. So
Mhm.
Mansi is saying, thank you so much. No problem. It's our pleasure to help you. If you have any more questions, please post them on the chat.
Yes.
Um,
So quickly
do
coming
you?
back to that,
Sure.
before we go forward, sorry, quickly coming back to that, the in the company itself. So it's PricewaterhouseCoopers. So basically, what we do is we have a tie-up with them, and you ideally do two field trips. So you visit their data center in Luxembourg. You participate in
Okay.
an experimental meeting where you present your findings and you present your project to them. And it's you are among the industry professionals, the one of the top ones in the industry, and you present your project. Of course, you have a very very high chance of growing a network in the industry and even getting hired. We do, I think, have one or two Indian students actually who went through this program a few years ago, and they were directly hired by PwC.
Wow, that's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
That's something really cool. Also, Kiride, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm so bad at the names, but it's also asking, what is the employability rate?
Thanks a lot, Kirti, for asking. I think I forgot that part in my while going through our slides. So, ideally, if we look at the figures so far, almost all BSB pass outs get a job within 6 months of them completing their program with us.
Awesome.
Almost all of them. So, of course, in France or as it is in any other business school in the world, nobody guarantees a business degree. But what we ideally do is we have these corporate relations officers and all that, which make sure that you're always connected throughout your studies. You're connected to the corporate world, connected to the industry, so that your chances of getting employment is much much higher. So yeah, I think if I have to answer it in one sentence, we have around 100% employability within the first 6 months of your graduating from us.
Wow, that's really great. Okay. Another question is, how many time in advance is it good to start the application?
Well, a lot of factors in play over here. A lot of students do last minute applications, which is absolutely fine for us. But like I was explaining you, certain things, certain benefits you get if you do an early application. One of them is accommodation. So if you're applying for a social housing, the student dormitory is provided by the government, which are very very cheap, ideally. And on top of that, you can even get the money reimbursed. So keep that in mind as well. So all these factors, keeping them in mind, as soon as you apply, it's good. We are here to help you throughout the process. So if you're not if you're not sure which program you want to apply, or how you have to apply, what is the process, what is the document, we are here for that. So that process, we make it easy for you. Rest, what I would recommend is try and apply as soon as possible, because there are a lot of early bird things which you miss if you apply late. you're coming late, you're looking for accommodation late. Let's say you miss your the student dormitory option, then you're looking for student housing, right? You're looking for apartments and all that. So the more delay there is, the lesser chances of you getting a good option, because Dijon is a student city. There are a lot of students applying for accommodation and all that, and the prices increase during that time. So if you're applying even later, then you might have a, your expenses might end up increasing. So it's always good to apply in advance. And uh, for you to help make that decision, make the right choice, we are here for that, of course.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So I think we have reached the end of this webinar. I'm going to share with you guys on the chat Celsia's email, so you can contact her, and I
Yes,
think
please.
she will be super happy to help you.
Yes.
Any last advice or comment for the students?
I think I'll quickly address one question which I
Oh,
didn't
sure.
complete properly. The eligibility part. So, of course, your previous degree is one of the eligibilities. Then English language. You have to understand you will be studying in English. So for us to make it easier for you to apply, if your previous degree was completely taught in English, and if you can produce the degree stating that the medium of instruction was English, you are ideally not supposed to have an English level certificate. But if you don't, then you need to provide an English level certificate. And probably Celsia can, if you need the exact, number of, okay, what points I need in IELTS, how many numbers I need in TOEIC and all that, Celsia can always share the exact detail with you in future, not a problem. Other than that, I think, first of all, I would like to tell you that we are here to help you as always. And what we ideally try to do is try to give you the best options available for you. So a lot of times we have students applying for programs which they may not fit that well. For example, we have students applying for MBA, but we know their experience level is not good for MBA. So even though the program is very expensive, our approach is not about, okay, how much fees you bring in, but our approach is giving you the best option possible. So we are here to help you in that case. We are here to help you choose the right program for you. We are here to help you go through the whole process, even the visa process and all that. Celsia will be there explaining you, helping you throughout until the point where you reach. Then you'll probably, our other teams will get in touch with you, how to do your day-to-day things, how to subscribe for a mobile plan, how to get a discounted student travel card, everything. So we have a department for each and everything, and we are always eager to help. So please don't hesitate, reach out and try and make a decision early on, so that it's easier for you to avail all the services, all the advantages possible in France. It's a very good place to study. Very quality, the quality of education is very, very good in France. And I guess that I would like to end it with that, unless someone else has another question.
I think that's it for the questions, guys. If you are, I mean, sometimes when we are on a presentation, we don't think of questions, and when it ends, it was like, oh, I should have asked this. So that's why I sent you all on the chat the email. So if you have any questions, as our presenter said, don't hesitate to ask. They are here to help you. They are here to guide you, and it's okay to ask everything. Don't be afraid of doing that.
Exactly. And I think final thing I would like to add, which sorry, there's so many things in my mind, I keep on
It's
adding stuff.
okay.
So I'll be visiting India. I'll be visiting 4 cities in India. And Celsia is based in Chennai. So any of our Chennai people from joining from Chennai, they can directly visit her. But she's available by email, by call, of course. And me personally, I'll be visiting Delhi. I'll be visiting Hyderabad. I'll be visiting Bangalore. I'll be visiting Kochi. I'll be visiting Chennai as well in the month of March. And once we have your details, I'll send out the information to you. Please feel free to reach out to me. Any questions you might have, I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to sit over a cup of coffee and discuss, whatever possibilities is there for you in France, and what you can do, what you should prepare for, what you should be ready with, and all that. Any type of questions. So definitely, I'll reach out to you with the information, and you can let me know if you would like to meet me in these cities.
That would be great. That's a great opportunity, guys. So don't miss that. And Chelsea, do you have any final advice for the students?
My final advice would be like as Prakash said, I would like to tell the students to start their application as soon as possible, and feel to call me, and if not, like text me around, and yeah, I'll be available always. Like if I'm not able to, then Prakash is there for me to help me. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you very much, Big Rash and Chelsea, for tuning in and for sharing this amazing information with all the students. And I hope to see you back here very soon.
Yes, thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Carla, and
thank
thanks a
you.
lot, guys. Hope to see you all soon. Hopefully, every one of you in campus. Otherwise, we are always an email away.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Awesome,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks,
Okay,
Carla.
so have an awesome night, evening, day, whatever you are. So, okay, see you next time. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you.